Hey, how's it going? I'm Sean Nelson. I'm an economics major and general business minor. The problem I'm trying to address is helping low income students um, overcome the financial struggles of entering college. As we all know, college is very expensive. So I'm trying to organize organizations and set up programs that sort of guide um, high schoolers and college students to a cheaper education. I became interested in this problem when I was applying for colleges. I noticed that application fees were very expensive, and often when I got into colleges, they would send me my financial aid package back, and most of the financial aid didn't suit my needs. So it was always just a beckoning question where it was like, I don't know if I can go here because I can't afford it. So then I was so that's sort of how I was inspired by my problem. And after doing some research, I discovered that there are models and certain programs that sort of benefit low income students and makes college life a lot easier. So the one that I'm specifically like researching and going in detail about is like trying to improve the counseling at community colleges, and I'm planning on expanding their role. Um, and on top of that, want like the school and the counselors to come together to create like an exclusive network of colleges where it's guaranteed that the applications will be free, and that there's like a like a financial aid package that would satisfy both parties' needs. And the impact I'm trying to create is to close the equity gap and create a fair chance for every student to get an education. So that's a little about myself. Right here is my personal development goals. So pretty much this talks about how I want to improve, like how I can improve so that I can do better on finding solutions to my problems. So like I need to work on my time management, improve on critical thinking and problem solving, and overall listen to feedback better. And this is sort of how I'll attempt to develop those skills. So like create a schedule, properly assess like a problem, like deeply think about it, like do all my research to back up my findings. And I need to just like not be afraid to show my ideas and like get feedback from professors, experts, anything really. So after developing like my personal goals, I was able to start developing goals to overcome my social problem. So like I began researching. I came up with some models that I wanted to like look into and potentially implement into my project in closing this equity gap. And after I sort of formed an idea, I used resources. So like I contacted professors at the University of Maryland, and I was able to get some really good conversations with some professors, and they sort of inspired me to move to use a particular model that would see the graduation rate and retention rate like increase, and it would overall be a lot cheaper than like the normal path. And I'll be sure to talk about that later. So here's my action plan. My goal, as I mentioned before, is to close the equity gap by offering more resources for low income students. My objective is to find and implement a model that benefits all students. My desired outcome is to see more students enrolled in college. So like instead of just dropping out and like sort of finding a job that doesn't really suit them or that doesn't really provide too much for them, I sort of want them to avoid that and like just do whatever it takes to complete a post-secondary education. And then I was I've been mentioning my desired impact is to see the graduation retention rate increase for particularly low income students. So in order to meet these actions, I set up like a weekly goal thing where like I would be able to meet my goals. So like the first week doing this project, I was researching programs and like I would research what's already offered to students, and then I would like research what's offered to particularly low income students, and I was able to find a lot. And then week two, I was starting to come up with more of solutions and starting to like gear myself towards like, all right, what kind of model do I want? Week three, um, I kind of like narrowed it down, and then I needed to find experts to I had to reach out to experts to get more knowledge on how I can actually like make my goal into like a realistic thing. So I contacted experts week four, and then they were they were able to give me a lot of good feedback, and then I implemented their knowledge into like more research and more like I was able to establish my models more. Week six, I contacted the Montgomery College, which was actually the college Dr. Carney recommended. I will talk more about Dr. Carney shortly, but she had a really great conversation with her. She recommended that I contact Montgomery College and sort of see how they ran things. And like I said, I'll talk more about it. And then week seven, I hope to pitch my model and convince community colleges to use my model to increase statistics on graduation retention rate. That's my overall goal. Like that's what I wish to complete by doing everything. So here I have my interviews. I was able to meet up and have a great conversation with Mary Jo Fabiano. She has taught the Keensburg district for 36 years, and she was even the president of the teacher union in that district. If you don't already know, which I probably assume you don't, Keensburg is known for its lower and middle class students. So the students who go to a school there aren't kind of not in the best situation. So I was able to get a lot of like perspective, and Miss Fabiana was able to share her firsthand experience with me. So that was super helpful. She shared with me the programs that they offered to like elementary, middle school, and high schoolers, and sort of like how they prepared them for their future endeavors. So that was like great, so that I was able to get like an inside perspective on like what's already being offered to high school students. And then later I met with Professor Dr. Carney. She's an economics professor at the University of Maryland, and her particular interest is like focused on like poverty of students and like inequality, and she researched about programs and like how economic conditions impact like low income households, and she was able to help me narrow down like what I want to do. And so she inspired me to want to convince counselors to have like a bigger role in community college, to like work with um community college students and particular specifically low income students, and to like be on top of them about their grades, be like, hey, like what do you want to major in, what kind of career, like where do you see yourself in 10 years, sort of that sort of thing. And they also like want to um guide them towards like their next adventures to like a 4-year institution. And then so I'm following that model, and then there's more I want to do to it. So like I want to create like an exclusive network that helps that sort of offers like a secured free application sort of thing, and like there's um like guaranteed financial aid given out and distributed to low income students. So that's sort of the model I chose, and Dr. Carney kind of really helped me narrow it down, and like she gave me great advice. And I was also able to meet with Grace. She's actually a student in my my class for the Do Good Now class, and I was able to meet with her, and she actually met with. I interviewed her last week, and she was able to interview a lot of principals and like professors at the University of Maryland, and she and I like her and I have like similar topics, and she is more focused on like how to keep the students engaged. So she wants to update like how the classrooms are, and like she feels that when students are more engaged, that they'll be able to have more confidence in themselves and like really push themselves to the next level. So that was an interesting conversation with Grace. And then after like developing my personal goals and everything and sort of interviewing with experts and researching, I was able to create a business model. And so like I established my partner, which was Montgomery College. I want to collaborate them to help the counselors help the low income students. And like I said, key activities. So that would like include training the counselors to have a more bigger role. And so for key resources, we're going to need Montgomery College to offer us their full support, and we need like counselors to be ready for this bigger role because it's not going to be an easy switch. So my value propositions, like I've been saying, we're really looking to help low income students stay in school and improve their school retention. Services are meant to improve students' grades and help them through school, as all counseling and programs should be. And overall, we want to create a good relationship with the students and like all the faculty that works for the community college, because we want to help them and they want to do their best. So it's a win-win. So the channels we want to show the students that they have a lot of potential. So we'll present and like discuss like what we plan on doing, how this will help you form your career, and like and how can we help you pursue your post-secondary degree of choice. So I want to work with Montgomery Community College. That's just like I don't want to work specifically like I'm not narrowing it down to like one college. This is just like a gateway to enter more community colleges. So when I talk about how I'm only working Montgomery College, it's actually all of them, or I'm trying to work with more community colleges. So yeah, and then um the cost. So it will probably cost not too much. I feel it will probably cost a decent amount to probably hire more counselors and probably improve the technology at the community college. So it it could be a lot, but it will be rewarding. So like the returns is that will create better future for students, and rather than them just drop out and waste their potential, they'll be able to fulfill it. And how that benefits the community college is that the statistics behind the community college will look so much better, and it will encourage more students to come. So it's sort of like a cycle, and that's a cycle we want to be in. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.